All right, so now let us get started. Now, we're going to be building this tip calculator. And as I said, this tip calculator is going to be calculating the tip. So for instance, you go to a restaurant and then you want to tip your waitress or your waiter. You want to calculate this tip and then what you want to be able to give them based on the services that they give to you. Now, the first is that for you to be able to do this, you need to understand the functionalities that are going to be given to it. First of all, you're going to be the one listing it out. For you to calculate all of these things, what and what is going to be affected in this place? Who's going to help me out? Yeah? For you to be able to calculate this tip right here, to get the total amount and the tip amount, which of the elements here will be affected? You get the question now. Again, you want to calculate tip amount, right? Total amount. Which of the elements in this place will be affected? How many of them will be affected? Bill will be affected. Good. Rate will be affected. Okay, good. Which one again? Good. Which one? Just those three, have you? Exactly. Tip amount. Everything is going to be affected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which means that you need to bring them to the where? To your JavaScript using your DOM. That's the first thing I need to know. Okay, if I'm going to be working on this, which of these things are going to be affected? So now, bringing it to that our DOM, how are we going to do that? So we're just going to go ahead and let me close this up and open this place. Yes, okay, good. Now, we're going to go ahead. This is our HTML. We're going to go ahead and then we are going to get it into our JavaScript. Now, how do we get into our JavaScript? First of all, your bill. The input for your bill is what? So you have a class of what? Bill, which is this, right? So you need to bring it into your JavaScript. So how do you do it? You can say const bill equals to what? Document dot query selector. Then what are we getting? Dot bill. That's the first one, right? What's the second one? The second one is the what? Rate. Const rate equals to document dot query selector. Then what are we going to be getting there? Where's it? I think this should be it. Dot rate too. So I'm gonna have dot rate. Do you understand it? Do you get this? No, let's leave the label. I explained label before now during HTML when we're doing placeholder. I don't forget. Okay, so now that's one thing about so we've selected what? View. I have selected width. What else do we need to select again? Let us check it out. We need to select what? This calculate button, right? So we need to bring it into our HTML also. So we can do the same thing. I can just go ahead and I can say const btn equals to what? Where's this thing here? So that's ID of calc. So you can have document dot query selector, and then we're gonna have what? Hash calc. Now, what's the next one? Tip amount, right? Which is this and this. So we have here we have tip and total. So we can have what? Const tip equals to what? Document dot query selector. Then we're gonna have dot tip. Then I'm just gonna do the same thing for total. Total. So I'm gonna have total. Now we've been able to bring everything that will be affected to our JavaScript now. Now it's now time to start writing our functionality. But first of all, do we understand this? You understand up to this point? Is it clear to you, Mr. Mr. Kelvin? Hello, Mr. John. Do you understand it? Why what happened? I was asking a question. You didn't answer me. Why were you not in class for a while? You just decided not to stop coming. So what now happened? Okay, you are not just feeling the class, or you don't understand what's going on in the class, so you decide to stay at home. Is that it? Have you been going through the portal? You could not log in. Why? Eh? And you did not reach out to me or to the secretary or to anybody. Why? Eh? Sorry? So I cannot hear you. See, that's why I want. That's why I here today. After 1 month. Okay. No wahala. So let us continue. Do you understand up to this point, please? Now, I'm going to ask another question. I always ask questions so that I know if everybody's following. What's the next step from this place? Yes, we want to we want to be able to calculate this bill. We want to be able to calculate all of these things. How then do we now go ahead to calculate it? What is the next way? I'm not saying you should tell me the logic. I'm saying tell me what to do next. What's the next thing I should do right now? We've done CSS already. That I did not. But this is not a CSS class, so I'm not really interested in CSS. It's JavaScript. So what is the next point now? Yes, you've been able to get all of these things out. Then how then do you now go ahead? How do you proceed? What's the next thing? Good, a functionality. And what's the function going to be based on? You're almost there. You're gotten like majority part of it. He'll give you the functionality. What function is this thing going to do? Exactly, to calculate the tip amount. That's just it. That's the function that we have to do. So we're going to give it, we're going to say const. So there are two ways in which you write functions in JavaScript. First is your normal function, right? Then the keyword, and then parentheses, and then this, right? Now, you also have another way in which you write your function again, which is called the arrow function. So I can have const, right, equals to, and this equals to, then we're going to have the arrow function. So this is another way in which, oh, this is a mistake. So I'm going to have a var word, so that's a variable word, not keyword, right? So, and then you're going to have sync. Now, this is another way in which you write functions in JavaScript. So I'm just going to use this since that's what we know. Going forward, this is what I'm going to be using after today. I'm going to say function. Then we're going to have, let's use calculate tip, right? And then we're going to have this. So now, sorry, this was a mistake. Function, then calc tip. Then we're going to have this exactly. So this is it. Now, this is exactly how we're going to work, what function are we going to be using. So now, basically what we want to do is that we want to calculate the tip, right? The tip amount, isn't it? And that tip amount is going to come from how many values? Eh? So which of the values is the tip amount going to be coming from? Which elements are we going to be using here to calculate the tip amount? Rate, good, and what? And bill. So those two things need to be what? To be gotten. Now, for you to calculate the rate and bill, how do you go ahead and calculate it? So what you want to do is that, if you've gotten, if you input bill and then you input rate, you should be able to add both the rate and bill together to give you the tip amount and the total amount, isn't it? That's what we want to do. Good. Now that's exactly how we are going to go ahead and approach this. But first of all, I'm going to bring the rate and bill inside of this place rather than outside. So because we're going to make it local scope. Now, I want to check something out. After a user imputes their number here and then get this rate, what exactly are we going to be using in this place? No, let me explain it. Yes, we will use calculate function, right? But now, if I put 1,000 here and I put 15% here, what kind of elements are there? Is that? Or are they? What attribute? What attribute? Not data type. What attributes is this? I did not say data types. Attributes. We've talked about this a lot of times. If you are trying to get a particular data from a user, we use a particular input or what's the name? A particular attribute to get data input. No. No. It's not prompt. Let us try. Let's think about it. Who's going to help us out? This particular 1,000 here is what of the bill? This is the value now. Value. You don't understand? Yes. That's the answer. Wait, have you forgotten the attribute value that I'll talk about? Value, the value of a particular form. That we did it also for their I thought we were here in the class. We did it for the palindrome. So if you want to get user data, you have to especially conform inputs. You have to get the value of that user. After getting the value of the user, then you now go ahead and use it as, to write whatever functionalities you want to write. You understand it now? That is one thing about the value. So right now, what we're going to get now is not just the bill or the rate. We're not going to get the value of the bill and also the value of the what? Of the rate. You understand? Now, this is what we're going to be using. So we're going to be saying the bill.value and rate.value to do whatever it is we want to do. You understand now? Now, we're not going to go ahead and start writing our functionality. The first functionality that I want to write is, let us list them out. First of all, users shouldn't be able to leave the bill empty. You understand? Like, what am I saying? Users should not just be able to leave this bill empty and come here and press calculate. No. Anything that makes you want to use this app, you should include your bill. Now, your rate is optional. You can leave rate and say, okay, I'm not giving rate. Right? So if you do not give rate here, your tip amount is going to show there. So if you don't give your tip here, your tip amount is going to show 0 here, and then your bill is going to come outside. So like that, you still know your bill. You understand? But users should not be able to leave this particular place empty. That's the first thing. Second thing is that your bill, users should always include a number. In the bill. Now, why are we doing this? We are doing this because some users can come here and say 20. Trust me, some users will try this. You might be like, oh, but everybody is smart. They can just... Yes, some people are just curious that they don't want to check if writing words here will still make this particular place work. So now, whenever you write 20 here, we do not want this. We want it to be what? 20 or 10. right? Or 100. Only numbers. Do you get it now? So we should be able to what, make sure that users only include what? Numbers. You understand that? Those are the two things that we have to check, first of all. Right? So in case users now include something that we do not want them to input, it should return an error. Do you understand these two tasks now that I want to do? These two things now, is it clear to us? Good. Now the next one is that, okay, after that, we should now be what? Tip amount should be calculated. Right? And then also we should what? Get total amount. Now, these are the four things that we're working on. Four major what's the name? Functionalities that we're working on. Now let's work on the first one. Users shouldn't be able to what? Leave the bill empty. Now, how are we going to get this? How are we going to get this? Mr. Kelvin, Mr. David, Mr. Pius, and Mr. Shegun also. I've not forgotten you. You can always put it in the comment section in case you want me to. How are we going to get this? Just think about it. Bill shouldn't be empty. What does that mean? There's no way it's going to be a prompt. Don't try. You can try. It's actually very, very easy. Everybody doesn't want to try. It's in the sub. Okay. First of all, what you want to do is that you want to know if the user is putting a bill that is, empty, or a bill that is not actually empty, right? Now, for you to do that, use your if statement. If bill, which is this one right here, equals an empty string, meaning it is empty. What do you want? What you want is that what you want to alert to probably the console. Bill should not be empty. Do you understand it now? So that's just everything that you have to do. Now, if the bill is empty, what do you want? Alert that what bill should not be empty. That's all. That's all you have to do here. Like that, you've done task one. So it's nothing hard. It's just understanding. That's why I said all of this. You need to understand the basic concept of everything in JavaScript and then apply them later. If you miss just one thing, you will have issues with it. So that's why I always say, make sure that you just go back on it. Try and go back on it. Ask questions. If you miss one thing, it's gone. So if bill is an empty string, what do you want? You should alert bill should not be empty. Now work on the first one. It's not going to work now because we've not done anything to. You know what? Let's add an event list now. So this btn, I can say btn dot add event list now. Then let's listen for a click event. Then let us give it that calc tip. Yeah. And let us try it on the next one. Yeah. So if I refresh now and I click on this, so what's wrong? Should give me. Should actually give me some. Okay, I think I know the problem now. So the problem is that I have not connected it to my JavaScript. So this is app.js. In this place, I'm using new.js. So let me change it to app.js. Good. Now let us try it out. I'm going to refresh. I'm going to click on calculate. As you can see, bill should not be empty. She's working now. Now that's what now, but if I put something and I press, now as you can see, it's not going to give me bill is empty again because bill right now is not empty. Do you get it now? Now that's the first thing. Now the second thing that we need to worry about is that we need to make sure that bill is a number. Do you understand? So we need to make sure that what bill is a number. So users should always input a number and not a normal string. Now, how are we going to do this? Now, I can use a particular number method known as what? None, or is not a function. So I can say else if is none, right? So what is none? Bill. So if bill is not a number, what do you want to do? What I want to do is I want to alert none is not a number. Please enter a number. And that's the second one. Now, if you check it out now, and I refresh, if I press S and I click calculate, please enter a number. You understand it now? If I press calculate, please, you should, as you can see, two different error messages. Blue should not be what's empty. Now, if I go ahead and I include a number now, as you can see, it is going to work. You understand it now? Now, this is basically what your is none is talking about. Now, we have the first one, which is what bill should not be empty, which is an empty string. Second one is none. Now, this is none is basically saying, oh, this particular is going to check if this data here is a number or not. If it is not a number, then execute this task. But if it is a number, move on to the next task. Do you get it now? So is none is a number method that checks if a particular data is a number or not. That's what this is none is going to do for you. It's going to help you check if, so now as you can see it. So is none returns a Boolean value that indicates whether a value is the reverse value none or not a number. You understand it now? So now that's basically what none does for you. Now I'm going to pause the recording here and wait for us to write this out and before we move on to the next point. Do you understand up to this point?